Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, got a very special video for you guys. We are going to be talking about the Yankees, and do they have the next core on their hands? Do they have the next group of homegrown players that are going to be with this team for a very long time? Hopefully, get us to the promised land, win a championship, or hopefully championships. And it's just been really exciting to watch the young kids play. Dominguez came up and produced right away 2 home runs. The Yankees swept the Astros. Austin Wells played really well too. Peraza played well. Pereira played well. Volpe's having a really solid season. And the Yankees kids are just having fun. They're just going out there. They're playing their game of baseball. And it's just been so much fun to watch this youthful movement, this youthful energy that I feel like as fans we have been asking for so long. And now the kids are up. They're winning ball games. They're having fun. They just swept a really good team in Houston. Obviously, the Astros, we've had a ton of problems with them. But we went in there to Houston, picked up the sweep. First time the Yankees have swept the Astros since 2013. And, kids are just playing really, really well. Christian, what are your first impressions on the Baby Bombers 2.0 or the Yankee Utes? I don't know what we should call them.
The Yankee Youths?
No,
I kind of like the Yankee Youth.
Utes, like ends with a T. Kay was saying, I think it's from some TV show. I don't know.
I kind of like the Yankee Youths. I don't know.
The Yankee Utes.
Or Baby Bombers 2.0. I don't know. I will say it is exciting. This is probably like the most interesting series I think we've had all year, or at least since games like kind of mattered in April and May. But it's exciting. And, while it is tough, you look at it and it would be much better if they were playing for something. These games are still important, right? A lot of the members on the 2017 Yankees team talked about how, no one was really expecting, or no one really had big expectations for them, but they all thought they were going to, have a really good season because of how they ended in 2016. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. I'm not living and dying with every game, but it is really, really nice to see, a lot of these prospects come up and perform. And, Dominguez, of course, is the big one because the Yankees haven't really had a prospect come up like that kind of since Judge. That's just been electric. And of course, this is 3 games, okay? We need to see more, but it's really exciting, and it does get me a lot more excited for next season, especially if they keep playing well, and I'm happy. I'm also happy that the Yankees were able to do this, right? They put Bader on waivers, they cut Donaldson, and they basically said, let's see what we have. I'm happy the Yankees at least did that, because if they didn't, I would have a tough time really being invested in the offseason, because it'd be the same thing. But now, hey, kind of excited for next season. Of course, it's a long ways away, but
yeah, if the kids play really well too, I think it definitely makes the Yankees front office. I think it makes their decisions much easier. Just stick with the young kids, maybe add a free agent or two, and say, here we go. Let's go with this thing. But it's just been so much fun to watch. And you were talking about the 2017 team, how they didn't have high expectations, but they played really, really well. 1 game away from the World Series, 1 win away. And that's kind of part of the youthful movement. These kids come up and they win ball games, and all they do is win. They don't know what losing is. They're just going out there. They're going to have fun. They're playing their game. And I think it's just like a lot of these guys right now that have come up for the Yankees, I think they're just having a lot of fun playing baseball. Just showing up to the ballpark every day, doing their job, being with their teammates, being with their friends. And, I think they're doing everything they can to try to win. They're just playing baseball, like kids do. Let the kids play. And the Yankees are letting the kids play. And it's a kid's game, obviously. Baseball is a kid's game. And I get these guys are professional athletes, but the kids are up here. They're having fun. It's so exciting to see. But Christian, let's talk about the big name, Jason Dominguez, the Martian. I mean, he has just been unreal. 2 home runs, I think maybe 2 other hits in the series against the Astros. He looks really, really good. I understand, it's a very small sample size. We need to see more. Obviously the league is going to adjust to him. But one thing I did want to point out is Jason Dominguez in-game adjustments. For a 20-year-old kid to have these kind of in-game adjustments, his baseball IQ is very, very high. And only being 20 years old and having a very high baseball IQ, I mean, the sky's the limit from there. I mean, this kid is only going to get better, and it's just really, really exciting to see. The guy on ESPN, the broadcaster Perez, I forget his first name, but he played in the major leagues for a long time, had a pretty solid career, and he said that the last player he saw at a very young age to make these type of in-game adjustments was Albert Pujols. And every time you think of Jason Dominguez, Jason Dominguez is his own guy. He's going to be his own player. But when you hear from analysts and they mention the comparisons that this guy's compared to, Mickey Mantle, Mike Trout, Bo Jackson, I mean, these are big time names. I mean, these are like Hall of Famer names, once in a lifetime type of players. So it's really, really exciting to see from Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, it's just super refreshing. A switch hitting lefty, or switch hitter, I should say,
Yeah.
with a smooth swing, has power, that's fast. It's just something we haven't seen before, or at least in a long, long time with this Yankees team. And even Austin Wells, right? A catcher that can hit a little bit. I mean,
Hmm.
that's even new. And you're talking about the in-game adjustments with Jason Dominguez. How about Austin Wells? Mike King was telling the story in his post-game press conference how Wells, King throws a sinker that runs basically starts at a lefty's hip and then comes back on the corner. And the first time he threw that, and Wells was setting up, he didn't really set up far enough inside, and that's why it kind of left over the plate. They have one talk in the dugout. Next time it happens, backdoor strikeout with this sinker. So that's also important. And that's also why I think this Yankees team is set up pretty well, because not only is it just a bunch of young kids going out and kind of playing, with their, I don't know how to really say it, a bunch of kids just going out and playing. No, you have guys like Aaron Judge, Mike King, Garrett Cole, experienced guys who've done that in the majors, who know what they're doing to almost guide these kids. And that's why, and we call them kids, they're older than us. But
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, but no doubt. I mean, it's so exciting to see, and if these guys pan out, I think it'll be really, really big for the Yankees because we have said for so long the Yankees need more lefties in their lineup. They need more switch hitters. Jason Dominguez being a switch hitter, center fielder, right? I mean, he's a 5-tool player, and he's electric to watch. I mean, he could literally do it all. And you got Austin Wells, batting left-handed as a catcher. I mean, that's really nice to see. And the thing with Wells is, we're hearing all these great things as he's come up as a catcher. And the one kind of question is we know he can hit, but can he be a catcher at the big league level? So far, what we have seen, he's looked pretty solid out there. Obviously, we're going to need to see more as time goes on. But it's just been really exciting to see. And I think if these guys can pan out, it'd be really, really big for the Yankees because it's really hard to win a World Series where you don't really have much homegrown players. And you look at the Yankees teams of the dynasty, they had the core four, obviously. They had Bernie Williams, right? They just had so many young guys, come up from their system and win championships with the Yankees. And it's kind of something they've been lacking for a while now. They got Judge. Judge is a superstar, right? But they don't really have many other homegrown guys And I think now it's starting to happen, right? Now these guys are starting to get to the big league level. They're starting to get their core. And if this core works, it'd be really, really big for the New York Yankees, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And it is also cool that it's not necessarily like 2017 or like a rebuild at all because they're forced to go in next year. That you can't waste Aaron Judge's prime. So the Yankees can't sit there and say, all right, well, we'll let some of these kids develop. We'll see how next year goes. No, they have to add pieces in the offseason. And that's nice because, as a Yankee fan, we kind of expect them to be in it every year. And we
Oh
can
my
expect that now next year. So that's nice to see. And, I've talked about it before. There's not really that many free agents available, but Cashman's going to kind of have to get to work, right? Whether it's trades or, you know, um, what this guy's saying, Bellinger, who's also an option, and I really wanted him at the deadline. May as well get him as a free agent. I think he'd be perfect. But
God.
they're going to have to do some stuff, right? I know this team's fun to watch, but I don't think you'd really feel confident with just a lineup full of rookies.
Yeah.
So I think where they're at right now, it's play basically all the top prospects that would have been ready next year or this year, and then see how they do. The ones that are fit for New York, you're in the lineup next year. The ones that aren't, I guess keep developing, or maybe they're actually trade pieces for next year. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the Yankees, I mean, the free agent class is not great. Although I do think there is some players, Bellinger, one of them, that if the Yankees go out and sign, I think it would make them a much better team. Um, but I mean, yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting. You look at the Orioles, right? And they have so many young kids, so many young, talented rookies. And the Orioles are thriving, one of the best teams in baseball. And I think the Yankees, right now, if they could surround the kids, they got the vets, they got Judge, they got Cole, they got a bunch of great leaders. They could surround the kids with a nice group of veterans and a nice group of players who want to, like win now, who are in their prime. I think that's the perfect combo for a team. I think that's just like the perfect formula to win a championship, and not only win one championship but win more. Because as these guys start to get older, you get the kids in their prime, and they just keep adding on and adding on and adding on. But it's just been so much fun to watch, Chris. I mean, it's like you turn on the game, and it's just like exciting to watch the Yankees again. Like a month ago, you turn on the Yankee game, they'd have some brutal loss. You'd have Boone in the press conference looking like a moron, and you got this and you got that, and it was just horrible. Like, it was just not fun at all. But you turn on the game now, you're watching the kids, they're having a ton of fun playing baseball, and it's just like the vibes are great, because you're kind of thinking about next year, and you're kind of thinking about this year too. Like, if this team, wins a bunch of games in September, you're feeling really good for next year, and you're feeling really good about the coming years in the future.
it's kind of freeing. I mean, I since the past 5 years, we every game has been about winning. And obviously, I'd rather them be in it. But hey, I mean, watching games just kind of see who does well. Aaron Judge keeps hitting homers, and that's fun. And then we have Dominguez. I don't know. It's kind of just it's like watching the games sort of for different stuff, not just for winning. And it's like kind of a first as my Yankee fandom, but it's cool, I guess. However, I do want to talk about Ryan because we said that it's some prospects or not prospects anymore, but some of these kids are like basically trying out which ones are going to pan out, which ones aren't.
Yeah.
And also, is there a shot that Jason Dominguez could get traded if he has an amazing September? Because I saw something online about that. It was interesting.
I doubt. I don't think the Yankees would trade him. And the only chance they trade him is for like some kind of superstar like Soto, but the only way you do that, I mean, Soto would kind of be like a rental. I don't think the Yankees would trade him at all. I don't see that happening at all. To be honest, I just think like, especially now with the whole Martian thing and all the marketing that comes there, they want this guy to be like a superstar in New York. They want him to, especially being from the Dominican Republic. A lot of Dominicans. There's a ton of different types of people in New York, but I think even from a marketing standpoint, I think the Yankees want to keep this guy, and they want this guy to be a Yankee for a long time. I don't see them trading him in any way unless it was some crazy superstar deal. One player I could see getting traded is Oswald Peraza. Because his situation is pretty unique. It's really weird. They have a log jam in the middle infield, and they're gonna have LeMay, they're gonna have Rizzo next year. Torres is the final year of his contract, and third base maybe. I mean, the DJ could slide back over to third base. Rizzo could be the first baseman next year. Do they roll out Peraza for a full year at third base? I don't know. I mean, I feel like that could also be a gamble. And we talked about that, a little while ago. They taken too big of risks. But like, if Peraza doesn't, if he struggles out of the gate, then you kind of have a whole third base. I don't know. Like, if they extend Gleyber Torres, which has been talked about, then I think they do trade Peraza. His situation's really unique, and I think out of like all the Yankee rookies, from a personal standpoint, I think Peraza's is the most important because if he wants to stay on the Yankees, he really has to play well, I think, because otherwise, I think they're going to trade him. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to me like they're totally invested in him. They kept him in the minor leagues for so long. I don't think they're going to do that next year. I mean, that would just be completely wrong. I don't know. The situation's unique, but like I just said, I think from a personal standpoint, Oswald Peraza's situation is very important.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get a little critical here. I don't know if it's fair, but I think Dominguez and Wells, I'm excited about. I think you could pretty much lock those guys in. I also think there's zero shot Dominguez gets traded. I just want to get your thoughts. But I think Dominguez and Wells are definitely good. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you have Austin Wells, even if he's not hitting, he's a lefty catcher, and I do think he will hit. Lock him in for catcher next year. And Dominguez, he's fast, he's amazing. He can play center field next year. Peraza and Pereira, I don't know. I wouldn't, they'd have to have a really, really good September for me to feel comfortable with them. And that's they just kind of feel like more of the same from what we have, righties. They don't really have that much power. I don't know. I would be a lot more hesitant to roll those guys out. And also, you're only going to have so many rookies in your starting lineup next year. So, right now, and this isn't just based off the past week, just these prospects as a whole and how they've come up. If it was up to me and I had to make a decision right now, I'd probably feel comfortable with Dominguez and Wells for next year. Peraza and Pereira, no. Volpe, yes. Yeah. I think Volpe is going to be fine.
Yeah, I think Volpe is like next year. I could see Volpe like being an all-star, and that might be be a bold take. That might be a bold take, but like knowing this kid's work ethic, and knowing what he puts in to better his game, I could totally see Anthony Volpe be an all-star next year. I could really see it happening, and it might be a little bit of a hot take. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not out here, slamming my fist on the table saying Volpe is going to be an all-star in 2024. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened because I definitely think, like, the way he's played really in the second half has been really, really good. I mean, he's probably going to hit at least 25 home runs as a rookie. You'd think that number would go up in year two. So, you'd be looking at 30, 33 maybe, but – who knows? But yeah,
he needs to hit for more contact.
Yeah,
we don't want him being a like 20 hitter with
No, he
a lot
definitely
of home
does. He
runs.
has to hit for more contact.
But I do think he's gonna have a great. I mean, he's doing
Yeah,
great at shortstop. I think he's just gonna get better each year, to be honest.
yeah. Control
Um,
the zone. I think biggest thing for him is putting the ball on play more, hitting for a higher average. I know people don't want to buy into average, but I mean you can't really hit
or no,
211.
I wouldn't even say average. Then I would just say he just needs to hit for more contact.
Yeah. Also, I would say controlling the zone a bit more. He does seem like two strikes. He really just seems to like chase the high fastball, and sometimes he'll take like a huge swing with two strikes. I think just maybe a little tweak in his approach there, but I definitely could see Volpe being an all-star. I just had a notification pop up on my phone here, and it said Aaron Boone has said that Anthony Rizzo will be out for the remainder of the season
Yeah,
with
I saw
post
that.
concussion syndrome. I guess the Yankees don't. I mean, why risk it, right? I mean, if he's healthy, yeah, get him on the field. But I mean, there's no sense in just kind of rushing Anthony Rizzo back. I think, hopefully he can have a good season and be the Rizzo we know next year. I do think he's capable of it. It's definitely kind of a concern if he goes out there next year and doesn't play well. But
Yeah, I think they need to get a backup option at first base. I mean, they have no one. They had no one really
yeah,
this year. So,
I mean, you
yeah,
could. I guess they're really committed to having Wells there, a catcher. There's been some
I actually
talk
no, I don't think they're committed.
you don't think they're committed?
I think he's gonna switch,
You
which I
think
don't
they're
agree with. I just don't think he's on par with whatever their framing stuff is. But well, actually, if the automatic strike zone gets implemented, that won't even matter. But
yeah,
I
but
don't.
also like
I think
if
he should stay a catcher. But
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
they just keep talking about it, and it's kind of weird. So that's the
I
only
don't know.
reason I
I
think.
heard Boone talk, and he was saying, uh, but it's not even really just Boone when he talks. But he was saying, they really like Wells at catcher. I mean, what are they going to say? They don't like him? Like, obviously, I get that. But,
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that I don't know. They kind of keep dabbling
yeah,
in the
well,
idea that
there's been like a lot of rumors. I'm not, I don't know. I think they want to keep him at catcher. I could be totally wrong, but who knows?
I think there's so much value in having a good hitting lefty catcher. I don't get why.
They're rare. They're rare in today's game.
Even if he's not the best catcher in the world, I mean, I'll take
Christian,
that over Kyle Gashioka or Jose Trevino.
Christian, it's really tough to get a good offensive catcher. Um, I wonder. I think Wells is gonna. I think they're gonna roll with Wells at catcher next year. As one of their catchers. I don't know who the other one. Other one will probably be Trevino. Workved's interesting,
No,
but I don't
can't.
think they go with Workved again, especially with Trevino back. Cole's pitching Trevino. Workved's interesting. I don't know what they'll do with him, and I think they'll let Higgy go. But Higgy, always I liked Higgy as a Yankees. Maybe somehow they bring him back. Who knows? But we'll see. Um, but yeah, I mean, the off season is definitely going to be unique, and I feel like every year we say like, oh, this off season is huge for the Yankees. This off season, biggest off season since blah 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 blah. And maybe that's just because it's New York, it's the Yankees, right? We haven't won a World Series in a while. We need change. We need to get 28, right? Definitely that has a big factor, obviously. But I mean, I feel like this year especially. I mean, the Yankees do not want to go out there have an awful season next year. No one does. None of the fans do. No one does, obviously. But I don't know. They're gonna have to get creative because I feel like it's more like the Yankees need more. Like I don't think there's just like unless they sign like Otani and like I think they need to do a lot. Um, I think they need to do a lot. I don't think they need to do anything crazy. I don't think they need to do like a ton of big moves, but I do think they need to make a lot of moves, if that makes sense. I
A
could
lot
be,
of little moves. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
last offseason by far is going to be so much bigger than what this is. I mean, with between Judge, which was already by itself, then you add on Rodon. Last offseason was massive for the Yankees. Maybe one of their biggest off seasons ever, right? They just signed their captain for the next 10 years. But this year, I think it's kind of going to have to be Cashman almost getting to work, which is why I almost kind of like it, kind of don't, cuz I feel like sort of in the past there's just been one or a few guys that were saying go out and sign this, go out and sign him. It's not really going to be like that this year. It's kind of going to, there's not I think speculating is going to be a lot harder, and we're kind of going to get random trades, you know,
Yes.
random free agent signings that we might not have thought of really, and it's going to be a lot of those little moves, which Cashman does have an all right track record doing that. So that'll be interesting. Although I will say, I do think the Yankees lineup still needs like a Cody Bellinger,
Yeah,
some
definitely.
substantial
Yeah,
piece.
no, I would have liked if it was up to me, I would definitely go after Cody Bellinger because if you sign Cody Bellinger, Christian, look how like more dynamic that lineup is. Now you got let's just say Rizzo, let's just throw that aside. Let's say he had for the sake of the argument, let's just say he had the concussion. I mean, he had a phenomenal first 2 months this year. Let's just say the concussion messed him up. The whole season last year in 2023 was a shit show for everyone. Sucks. Whatever. Let's say Rizzo goes out there, solid player. The player we got in 2022, the player that we traded for from Chicago, the guy we know and love, Anthony Rizzo, and you sign Cody Bellinger. You got Dominguez, a switch hitter. You got Wells. Look how much more balanced out that lineup is with the big boys up front. You got Big G and Aaron Judge. That lineup becomes much more balanced. You got some speed. You got some power from the left side. You got power from the right side. And I think the line is just much more balanced and more equal. And then I feel like when we're doing our trade deadline targets videos, I'm not saying the same thing 50 times saying,
Mm.
yeah, this guy would be good because he bats left-handed. He really balance out that Yankees line. Like I just say that too much. But I feel like, you go out and get Bellinger, I feel like that lineup becomes a lot more dynamic, becomes a lot more balanced. And I think the Yankees definitely need that.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I probably should have said this in the video that we're going to upload on Thursday, and we were talking about if the Yankees are set up for success or not. I don't Something I kind of forgot to mention, the Yankees did have lefties this year, but they were like fake lefties pretty much.
Yeah, it
Franchy
was weird.
Cordero, Billy McKinney, Jake Bauers started playing well, but it was kind of like they had lefties in their lineup, but they were triple A guys.
Yeah.
So that was really weird. And you don't do that in the off season.
Yeah. No,
And
I don't.
I'm saying
Yeah.
make little moves, but I'm talking about under the radar guys.
Yeah.
Like by little move, I just mean
Big league players.
yeah, big league players that aren't getting a $300 million contract,
Yeah.
but still guys that like are major leaguers. So
Yeah.
I hope Cashman doesn't get too crafty with that, or
Yeah.
else
He's
it's
like,
gonna be the same
it
thing.
was, yeah, it was like he was trying to find like another Matt Carpenter. Which listen, that was really they got to also like look. I think the bench, they also got to evaluate the bench. Do you want to bring IKF back as a utility guy? IKF's been really solid for the Yankees this year, and Jake Bauers is still under contract. Could we see Jake Bauers as like a guy who splits some time with Rizzo, occasionally in the outfield as a, not like a fourth outfielder because he's not great in the outfield defensively, but kind of just like a lefty bench bat because he is under contract. And from what we've heard, the Yankees absolutely love this guy. So, maybe they don't want to get rid of him. And I'd be okay with that because I don't think Bowers is like some scrub. Like, I definitely think his talent. And, if he could come off the bench for the Yankees next year, hit, 10 home runs, maybe 10, 11, 12 home runs, I think that's a very solid bench bat. What do you think, Christian?
Yeah. solid bench bat, but I just get scared that then that leaks into an injury, and now he's our left fielder
Yeah.
or first baseman. So he's not a bad backup option for first base, I guess. But I just want the Yankees to make substantial moves, and guys that actually can contribute and not just random pieces that they find in AAA.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of that.
I wonder if they I don't know. This is big. I mean, I feel like they were like a little, and I think Joel Sherman was saying this. He was saying this on MLB Network, and he was saying that like the Yankees seem kind of like hesitant to make a move at this year's deadline. They kind of just stood pat. They didn't do anything. They got Keenan Middleton, but like I think they might be hesitant, and that cannot happen this year. Brian Cashman, whether I've had a ton of criticism on Brian Cashman. I don't think he's the guy that should be the GM. Many fans have want this guy fired. Whether we like Cashman or not, what the fans are saying can't affect him. He has to be creative, and he has to make moves that if they pan out, good Cashman, you did a good job. And if they don't, could lose him his job. Now I'm not saying, he's on the hot seat because this guy's, he's probably the GM until I thought. But
He's the Pope, yeah.
Yeah. But like he has to do something, whether it could end up being a good move or it could end up being a bad move. You have to do something. You can't go out there and sign, like a fourth starter and, a Joe Schmo bench player and be like, here we go, guys. We're a championship caliber team. No, you can't do that. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm speaking to the Yankees front office if they're somehow watching the video. The fans aren't going to accept this. We're not going to accept another year of this. And, we're just not going to do it. So they have to make significant moves. I think they have to make a lot of moves. Oh, my phone, Christian. I mean, just keeps falling. I really apologize, guys. But they definitely they just got to make moves. I'm not saying they got to go out and get a big fish like Ohtani or but they got to make moves. They got to make a lot of moves. I wonder if they even get creative and they end up like moving a guy like LeMahieu. I don't know who would take on that contract, but I don't know. He's had a really good second half. Maybe some teams interested in the versatility that he has, and that would help definitely with the logjam in the middle infield. But I feel like you do that, you got to bring back IKF. So I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things, but I don't know. I'm definitely excited for the off season. And right now, I'm just kind of like taking it day by day, watching the kids, seeing how they develop, and just having a lot of fun with that. I'm not trying to get too far ahead of myself, but Christian, it's going to be a big off season for sure.
Maybe not. I do think there's a shot. It's kind of just sort of low key and just a few small moves, and that's it. But yeah, I'm more focused on finish September strong, so that the team is feeling good going into next year, and hopefully you had some minor pieces, and this year was kind of a fluke, and next year everyone kind of just meshes and they play amazing. So
yeah, I mean we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. For right now, just tell people enjoy what you're watching right now. Enjoy The Martian and all the kids coming up and playing. I'm going to the game Wednesday. See, this is how the Yankees get you, Christian. 2
not
weeks
me.
ago,
No, not me.
not you. Well, you're smart. 2 weeks ago, I was, saying, I'm done. Like this is ridiculous. Especially when they lost 2 out of 3 to like the Nationals at home. I was like, all right, are we really doing this? And then, they called the kids. I'm like, all right, nice. Kids coming up, Dominguez. Yeah, I've known Dominguez since he was 17 years old. I mean, when he was 17 years old, he looked like a professional wrestler and had like a full beard. But, I've known Dominguez, yes, since we signed him. He comes up, so much hype. Boom, first at bat, a see ya, off the bat. Okay. Boom, Wells gets some hits, RBI double. Then, series finale, Dominguez, homer, sweep the Astros with the kids. Astros a good team. We sweep them with the kids. And I'm like, whoa now, come on. Let me buy that ticket right now. So I bought a ticket,
Yeah.
and I'm going Wednesday. So tonight we'll see Dominguez and Wells. Not Wells. Wells is not starting. He may get into the game, though. But we'll at least see Dominguez in the Yankee home pinstripes make his Yankee Stadium debut. I think the crowd's going to be into it. And Dominguez said, someone asked him about it. A reporter asked him, what do you think? What do you think your debut is going to be like? What do you think the crowd, whatever? And he says it's going to be. I think he said something along the lines like it's going to be pretty big, or like it's going to be a lot, like or pretty. I don't even know exactly, but it's going to be big regardless. So I'm definitely excited for that.
His interviews are kind of funny.
Yeah, he is.
Some interesting idols, not what you'd expect.
Yeah, he didn't want to
from a
say
Yankee prospect.
He liked Manuel Ramirez and David Ortiz. You know, the DR connection definitely you could understand that. But hey, I mean, you know, I don't think like anyone really. I mean, even though they're Red Sox and they killed the Yankees, I mean, they're two phenomenal players. You know, I don't.
I could not care less.
I mean,
we have enough guys come up that Derek Jeter was their idol growing up, and
well, Dominguez is named. He's literally named after a Yankee. He's named after Jason Giambi.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So I mean, hey, you know, it's fun to watch, and yeah, I think definitely like that's another thing too. Like you got to feel confident from what I've been hearing. I think Meredith was saying that, like when he made his debut, that he was just like going about his business. Like the moment wasn't too big for him, and he just kind of plays ball. Like, it wasn't too big for him at all. And his interviews looks like he's a very good personality. I mean, The Martian, come on. I mean, he's so much fun. So much fun.
No, he's funny.
Yeah,
he's good.
I like Dominguez, for sure. And you know, next year we might even see Spencer Jones next year, finishing this year
possible
in Double-A, and yeah, maybe September, like August. You know, last year the Yanks called it Cabrera Peraza. This year, Dominguez and Wells Pereira. You know, maybe by this time next year, we're on live. We're talking about Spencer Jones launching baseballs into like the upper deck in Yankee Stadium, and we'll definitely probably see Clayton Beeter or Drew Thorpe or Chase Hampton next year. There's a lot of good prospects that we'll get to see. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting for sure. You know, I'm looking forward to the game tonight, Christian. We have school tomorrow for any of you wondering. It's awful. We got school tomorrow. It's ridiculous. Stay in school, obviously, but I mean, it's our senior year, so it's definitely a big one. And I don't know, go out with a bang, I guess.
Yeah, not looking forward to it tomorrow, but
yeah, it's miserable. But at least I'm going to the game. I don't know what you're doing. Are you
working?
Yeah, working. Yeah. Nice.
So
nice. All right. Well, you got anything else, Christian? I'm ready to wrap it up here. I feel like we talked about it all.
Yeah, a nice positive live stream. I think we've all kind of already done our rants and stuff. It's kind of just enjoy the last month of Yankees baseball. So
yeah,
I think that's kind of where we're at.
Who knows, Christian? Maybe the Yankees won't.
Don't say it.
I'm saying
I'm gonna end the live stream before you say it. So
maybe they'll win out and make the playoffs, guys, and we'll win a World Series. You never know. You never know.
Maybe.
You never know. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. See you on the next one. Obviously, go Yankees.